I gave people all the stuff they really needed. Social Security checks, utility bills, TV guide.
I want a TV guidance counselor. TV guidance counselor. Staying up to watch all night, and everything's gonna be alright with my TV guidance counselor.
Happy Halloween 2024, everybody, and welcome to the TV Guidance Counselor Halloween Special.
Thank you very much. That's my announcer, me. I bet you thought you were like, who is this guy? But I'll confess I used special audio effects to obtain that particular tone of volume. Particular tone of voice? What the hell? What a weird year. We'll get to it at the end of the year. And I have a very, very fun Christmas special planned for you guys in 2 months. But that's a ways off. I think you're going to like it very much. In the meantime, it's my favorite holiday, Halloween, and I hope that you're having an excellent Halloween if you are a person who celebrates Halloween. If you're a person who doesn't celebrate Halloween, you very likely don't listen to my show, but if you do, welcome, and I'm glad to have you here. This is a super fun episode. I have one returning guest, Allison Pregler, who was on the show 2 years ago. Super funny, amazing YouTuber, film critic. She has a podcast, a rewatch podcast of Charmed. They're witches. That's a Halloween thing. Just so much good stuff. Baywatch nights, Baywatch stuff. I put links in the show description here if you haven't checked out her stuff. Also been doing it probably longer than I've been doing this show, which is like over 10 years. Good Halloween content. Just a good watch all around. And for the first time, her husband, Phelan Porteous, of the Great White North of Canada, who is also an amazing YouTuber, does a lot of stuff with Allison, as you would imagine, but just has such great movie reviews and Halloween content and animated movie reviews and bootleg toy review. Just super fun. I put links up to his stuff there too. Again, been doing it for over 10 years plus. These guys are amazing. And I was so happy that they sat down and talked to me because I am a big fan, and we had a really fun chat, and we'll be discussing Halloween content. So sit back, relax, put your porch light on, get a bowl of candy, and welcome back to the show, Allison Pregler, and for the first time, Phelan Porteous for the TV Guidance Counselor 2024 Halloween Special.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
One returning guest, one first-time guest, Allison and Phelan. How are you guys?
We're good. Thanks for having us.
So welcome back to the show, Allison. I think it was like 2 years ago somehow that you were on.
Time's not real.
We live in an odd Mobius strip of time. Phelan, this is your first time on the show, so welcome.
Thank you.
Since Allison was on last, I've become a big fan of both of yours. My wife and I have been like marathoning all the videos for the last like 10 years of stuff we've done. Because we don't leave the house. So it's really helped quite a bit. So I appreciate that.
Well, that's good.
Well, thanks. We know how that goes.
Yeah. Because Allison was first introduced to me because of obviously the Baywatch stuff, which I'm also a fan of. So, which have you watched the documentary yet?
Oh, we did, yeah. The Hulu one?
Yeah. I had some mixed feelings on it. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, it's pretty similar mixed.
Yeah. I feel like you should watch it hand in hand with the True Hollywood Story on Baywatch, because I feel like that had more information, but there was new information in this new one as well.
I was kind of like, and this is an aside, it's Happy Halloween, everybody. It's a Halloween special. As an aside.
Happy Baywatch Week! Did they do a non-Nights Halloween episode? I mean, I guess the Phantom one is kind of... Yeah, they've done spooky ones. They never did a Halloween one on either of them. But I think they only did one Christmas one, so they were never really a holiday show. But the Christmas was a two-parter and had actual elves. That's true. It was a pretty good Christmas one. Or a weird fetish for making dudes eat sand. Literally. Yeah, there's they did do one that was a tie-in to Halloween in like season 1. where there was this guy going around punching people at night. We call him the Night Puncher. And I believe NBC told them to make the episode based around a promo they put together. So that was kind of Halloween-ish.
That makes sense.
And there's a Phantom of the Opera one at the end of season 7.
It makes perfect sense. The show was weird. Like I didn't like how they structured the episodes. They had like no thematic. It was just like, here's random stuff. We're not going to go chronological. We're not going to go by theme. Here's just 4 episodes with a bunch of shit.
And they filmed it over quite some time too. And you could tell because people's like hair changes and they go from like crazy COVID beards to clean shaven to like, it's.
And Elaniac goes full punk.
Yeah, she goes full punk. So, but there is like interesting stuff in it. I do think that it's not the best documentary, but I'm glad that some people were able to like say what they wanted to say.
I was lucky enough to have Alexandra Paul on my show, and she's awesome and had such great insight, but I was really mad that she had the best ever pull quote line that she used for that for the documentary, not for my show, which was, "I'm from the East Coast where breasts weren't a thing."
It's pretty good.
And talking TV, she sent me a book called 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television.
Oh, good.
She's like, this book's great. You really like it. It was pretty well written, but, you know, it was an interesting thing to give to me.
I feel like you're very pro TV, though.
Yeah, I mean, I was not on the fence. Like, I don't think that book would have swayed me. You know, if she sends me that in the Harlan Ellison's class teat, I'm not going to be like, you know what? My whole life's a lie. Fuck this shit. I'm going to delete my back catalog. But speaking of television, you guys picked a Halloween issue, and this is a really fun issue, and I appreciate that you picked a Halloween issue here because I am all about talking Halloween whenever possible.
Halloween.
Yep.
Time.
It's the time. So this is October 17th to the 23rd, 98, I believe. We got a very faded Simpsons Halloween preview on the cover. Did you get TV Guide because you grew up in Nova Scotia, right, Phelan?
Oh, yeah, we had TV Guide here.
The Canadian one is different, though, right? It's a little...
Yeah, I think so.
Did they have different pictures or different layouts?
I think it was a different company.
Was it an entirely different company? I didn't know that.
Because I have some early 80s Canadian-specific issues, and one thing I noticed is Canada really held out on going perfect bound. They were like, nope, it's staples and folded well into the 90s. We are not gluing these pages in there. That's a national pride issue. And then so Nova Scotia's like, you're further east than Maine. Did you get like Maine stations or anything?
Sometimes, yeah, you could get some of those, but a lot of the time was just with cable. It'd be kind of random. Like I remember the Fox channels of Rochester, stuff like that.
The one time I went to Canada, which was last year in my 43rd year of life. I went to Montreal and they got all the Boston network channels.
Okay.
Which I was like, there's like 3 states in between here. What? Okay.
I think we've been watching some old SNLs that were in Maine, but they were a Canadian thing also. Like,
yeah, it would cater to the Maritimes in Maine.
Yeah, like the ads would be talking about Halifax, but they were.
Yeah.
So
that was interesting.
I'm an old school tape trader, and I know you guys share an affinity for SNL, and that was my goal, to get as many SNL broadcasts as possible because they, which I mentioned on the show before, Lorne Michaels has really revised the history of SNL.
Oh man, we were watching a documentary that was produced by NBC with all of them, and they were like, there was some horse shit coming out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lorne Michaels is like, we've always been apolitical, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
Host your fucking show? What are you talking about? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. There's an official SNL YouTube channel that I watched because they were doing like each year in review. And I am a sucker for like the stuff they never talk about, like the 80 to 85 really is like this weird.
Oh yeah, that's
was
crazy.
All glowing. And it was like no controversy, and they have like clips of Billy Crystal in brownface and full blackface.
Oh man!
And they're like, and this is new. This is like from this year, and they're like, Billy Crystal killing it as Sammy Davis Jr. Like, yes,
God.
it's funny, but also like at least mention it.
Yeah, we're watching through SNL for the first time since the beginning. We're in season 15 right now. This is the era that we kind of grew up watching, but we hadn't seen all this early stuff. I knew Billy Crystal was on it at one point. I did not know there was so much brown face. There's so much blackface going on. There's so much yellow face. He's like every color under the rainbow I'm going to play, and it was constant. Yeah. And it was awful too. It wasn't just
him just to be so obnoxious during the whole run too.
Yeah, he was. I like Billy Crystal, but I hated him on SNL. He sucked so bad, and he was all over the screen, hogging the screen time. This one-man act, some monologues and shit. You're like,
a black backdrop, and he'd be the boxer guy, and just like, oh, shut up.
Oh no! And then he's the stupid Marvelous or whatever. I'm like, God, shut up.
It's not fun. Like, Billy Crystal, even if you like his films and you like him as an actor, Billy Crystal, find me a human being on this earth that Billy Crystal is their favorite stand-up comedian, and I will give you all my worldly possessions. It'll never be done. It'll never happen. It's never going to happen. That is, and there's a great cast that year too, and it just, the Billy Crystal stuff is rough. But that early, there is some highlights in 80 to 85, including the fantastic Donald Pleasence Halloween episode, which sketch-wise, not funny. Almost nothing good. But,
it was spooky though.
Yeah, and Pleasance is friggin' hammered the whole episode, like really drunk. And I talked to Lee Ving from the band Fear, who are the musical guests there, and he got into a fight with Donald Pleasence before they started taping, because in rehearsal, Donald Pleasence was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Fear." And he's like, "What the fuck did you say?" And he's like, "Fear." He's like, "It's called Fear." He's like, "Fear." He's like, "The band's Fear, you and like they got in like a huge argument.
What a dumb reason to get in an argument.
Oh, yeah, which I think is why I think their second song, I think, is not introduced by Donald Pleasence. I think Eddie Murphy might introduce, like it's a cast member. Because he was like,
Fear was the one where it went really wrong, right? They had the mosh pit and all that.
Yeah, they brought up all the DC punks, so Ian MacKaye is there and Henry Rollins, and
that was insane.
I think it's John Brennan from the band Negative Approach and Laughing Hyenas. This is in the SNL revisionist history, and listeners, you're just gonna have to put up with this tangent. But they're like, and then the director cut them off, but the director cut them off about a minute later than Lorne Michaels pretends the director cut him off, because John Brennan from the band Negative Approach gets up on stage and grabs the mic and he's like, "Fuck you, New York! Fuck New York! Fuck New York!" And he's just going on. It aired. The whole thing went out. So they pretend that didn't happen, but it certainly did. So I also have those main broadcasts, and I have a bunch of broadcasts from, I want to say, Vancouver or something, like somewhere in America, like right below Vancouver. It's not Seattle, but it's like some other run of SNL. So as a fellow SNL fan, some great SNL Halloween episodes as well. The Christian Slater one is a good one. James Woods, sadly, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad, but he's a piece of shit.
Rhode Island's own James Wood blocked me on Twitter, got in a fight with me. That was in the heyday of Twitter when it actually was a thing. Man, I racked up quite a block list and insult list of people really losing their shit on me. James Woods especially got mad when anytime he'd post the still from Videodrome of him putting the videotape into his chest vagina. With no words, just that.
Oh, so you just irritated him with gifs as well?
Yeah, pretty much. And then Chuck Woolery told me to put my head up his ass. That was fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So anyway, back to this issue here. So 98, this is my first year of college. I'm older than both of you. I'm a few years older than Phelan, but I think I'm like 9 years older than Allison. But I was still watching quite a bit of TV at this time. And this is still when TV Guide is TV Guide. It sort of lost its shine about 3 or 4 years later. But there's some cool stuff in here, and I really forgot how long The Simpsons remained a major pop culture phenomenon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is into season, 10 or something at this point?
Yeah.
And it was still really good. When you're marathoning, like, Treehouse of Horror around Halloween, it feels like it goes by really quick, but if you watch 10 episodes, that's 10 years of television.
Yeah.
but it was still super good. And, you know, I'm glad we went over one from a little bit later this time, because last time we did a TV guidance counselor. It was, I think I picked like a TV guide from 1990 or something,
Yes, yep.
which is a great year for me, but also like I was like one or less depending on when. So a lot of the TV was like, if I was watching it now, I'd pick that, but I'm not that familiar with it. But here it was like I was spoiled for choice. I was like, oh, that or that or that. I remember that. It's good times.
Yeah, the sweet spot is usually when people were between ages 8 and 12. So this is right in there for you. If it's an issue from when you're telling your age in months, it normally doesn't have as much of a ring. But this one also, we still get cigarette ads in here. It had not gone out of favor yet. And in the first ad is a 2-page ad, because we're in October 98, so it's also election season. And I do not understand this ad.
Oh, the vote 98. The bowl stops here. No bowl. No additives. No bowl. Yeah, I don't really understand
Winston cigarettes.
Either.
Like, what?
I guess they're like smoke while you vote. No bowl.
Like voting's bullshit. We're not cigarettes. What are you trying to convey with this? I don't understand.
Yeah, there were a lot of ads that I noted in this one that were just very strange. There was a Hersheys one that was like, change is bad. You remember seeing that?
No, I didn't remember.
There was one. Okay, I'll see if I can find it here.
Yeah, this is before.
Change is bad. Hersheys. What? Unchanged since 1899.
Change is bad.
We want to appeal to those conservatives who don't like woke chocolate.
What do they call it then? They just be like PC?
Yeah.
PC
I think they should put their money where their mouth is and only eat white chocolate, which is garbage.
Oh, well, we'll have to fight you on that one. Phelan's a huge white chocolate fan.
You know what? Don't call it chocolate. If you call it something else, I'll be okay with it. Speaking of awful confections while we're looking at ads, on page 9 of the PDF is the absolute laziest craft ad for like a kid's Halloween treat.
I don't know which one's page 9. Oh, wait, I see.
I think maybe I've ever
Oh, yeah. I did note that one.
I thought that was really funny.
This is the Cool Whip one.
I love that it's a tie-in to for Addams Family Reunion.
That's why I wrote it down. I was like, okay, the crappy Cool Whip spiders I'm into.
And a lazy treat for a lazy movie.
Yeah, and then Addams Family, you get a $3 rebate with the purchase of an Addams Family Reunion VHS. Truly one of the worst Addams Family movies.
So let's describe what this is to the listener. It's a dollop of Cool Whip with jimmies on it, as we call them here in New England, like M&M eyes, black licorice spider legs, and also I don't think this has any structural integrity. Like this would not.
This would not hold up. I don't know what they did to make them keep this shape. This is some sort of like food ad trickery here going on.
Because it's really just styrofoam or something.
Yeah, like maybe if you froze the Cool Whip, and then it says thawed though. They specify thawed. So
this is basically giving your kid shaving cream and licorice.
Maybe if you put it on top of a cupcake, and then you stuck it in there, you'd have the whipped cream, and then you'd have something to keep the legs in.
I will say on the previous page, the Vicks NyQuil ad looks more delicious.
Cupcakes. I see cupcakes on here.
Upside down
cupcakes.
Wait, Frost upside down cupcakes? So is this just cupcake tops?
We didn't read the recipe because they say there's cupcakes in there, and that's how it keeps its structural integrity.
Is that count as an ingredient? A fully cooked
ingredient is a food item that you say, well, these are the kind of like Halloween recipes I'm into. Extremely lazy. You get like 3 things and you stick it together and you're like, boom.
Halloween pizza. You will need a pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, okay. The NyQuil looks more appetizing on the previous page, I have to say.
So what other ads did? There were some other things in here that were really, really good. I did want to note there's a section here on the 20 scariest movies.
Yes.
And then it immediately leads into an ad for The Lion King 2.
Yes.
So it makes it seem like that is like the number one scariest movie for them. And I do like, there's a little kid in the corner of the page that's like on a little vehicle.
It's a little safari.
Yeah, a little safari, and it says, Adonis, son of Walmart associate. Adonis.
Which sounds like that's how he introduces himself. Adonis, son of Walmart associate.
There it is, Phelan. Adonis, son of Walmart associate. Title. I love his name's Adonis. I hope he had a great life.
I want to look up Adonis. He'd probably be what? He's probably 8 here, I'm guessing, so...
maybe he's around my age.
Yeah, he's probably around your age. Where's Adonis,
the
30s? Son of Walmart associate?
Yeah, what's Adonis up to these days?
Adonis, son of Walmart associate, father of Walmart management.
I wonder if he ever watched the scariest movie ever, Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Well, you know, the Bible tells us pride is very scary. I was actually surprised, as fellow horror movie fans, I thought this list was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of bad. I'm just going to go over it because I would have noted it if I thought there was a weird one. I think these are classics. I don't know if I'd count Blue Velvet as a scary movie. It's kind of disturbing. But
it's like, is it really horror or sort of?
See,
who knows what it is?
Like, Fire Walk With Me, I think you could argue is a horror movie. Blue Velvet, not as much. But then scariest, like this would just be like the 20 best horror movies because some of these are like Young Frankenstein's not scary.
That's true. Young Frankenstein. Yeah, it said it's not so scary even on there.
But I mean, there's some I was surprised they included, like Corman's Mask of the Red Death and Near Dark.
Near Dark was pretty good. That's a good choice.
I was very surprised by that. Also, have you guys ever been to, I think last time we talked to Allison, you'd never been to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Have you still never been to Los Angeles?
Nope, never been.
Have you ever been, Phelan?
No.
I have to mention this because it's so insane to me. The Hollywood Museum, which is in the old Max Factor makeup building, the whole basement is like props and things from horror movies. And they have the entire set of Lecter's like cell from Sounds of the
whole
Land.
set.
So when you walk down the hallway, you walk into the whole, like all 4 cells, like the whole hallway, and there's a chair.
Wow.
It's so weird.
Do they at least have like, a little wax dummy of him in there, to complete it?
A dummy in there.
Amazing.
But if you've seen the film, you don't really want to walk down there. Not so much for Lecter, but the guy who had the wrist problem. What I didn't notice about that Hershey ad is its change is bad, and then the photo is like some cool 50s type dude with 5 different girls' names on his tattooed on his arm, and like they're all crossed out. So he's like crossing it out and getting a new one.
Right. Yeah. Well, because he keeps getting new girlfriends and having to get and then Sharpie out their names. He didn't know about cover-up tattoos.
I like how he's a different
out with that Dracula coffin knife. That was another ad.
Oh yeah,
the Dracula coffin knife was so good.
Look for that one. That is on. Where's the Dracula coffin knife? Again, appropriate for the holiday. Here it is on page 28 of the PDF. Official Universal Monsters, accented in 24 karat gold.
My favorite part of this is it says it's as important as it is exciting.
I want to describe everything like that.
As important as it is exciting.
So this is
the
not
Dracula monster movie collector knife. He's got like a little coffin, and it says coffin opens to reveal original Dracula art.
Yeah, who commissioned this art? Because they've made him look like Anthony LaPaglia, whatever.
It's supposed to be kind of the Christopher Lee, right? I feel like it's maybe a little different.
Lee was like a waiter in an Italian restaurant.
He's Robert Loggia in that John Landis vampire movie.
Oh, Innocent Blood.
Innocent Blood, yeah.
The horny post point in order La Femme de Kita. Yeah, I don't like. Who bought this? First of all, second of all, like what?
This is $55.
Yes,
right? Am I remembering this right?
$55.
I don't know why I remembered specifically it was $55.
Well, it's 2 payments of $27.50.
Okay. Right. Okay. Then it's fine.
I'm inclined to look up on eBay just out of curiosity if any of these are on there. Let's see. Dracula.
This is kind of like Kindred Spirits with the Dracula dirt.
Oh, from the 70s.
Like you have some of that, right?
Yeah,
the Dracula dirt. Yeah. Well, it came with something, right? Or did I just get
Ghostbuster stuff?
Yeah, I got him some Ghostbuster stuff, and then it included the Dracula dirt.
There are at least 10 of these on eBay right now.
Really?
One has 2 bids. It's up for $20. One's a $95 best offer, or one for $30 best offer.
Oh man, it only depreciated in value.
This is not an investment piece.
But this is as important as it is. What was important as it is exciting?
A minted medal set into the reverse of the handle bears the emblem of the Franklin Mint collector knives. What?
Amazing.
It's patent pending, by the way. So don't you rip this off.
Did they ever do any other of the movies, or they're like, we'll see how Dracula does?
I've never seen
never again.
Yeah, I've never seen others in this series. I'm like, the design's kind of cool. I would get it if this was. I would understand if this was like closer to Bram Stoker's Dracula being out, but we're in '98. Like vampires were terribly unhip in '98.
Yeah, but that's what makes it the best, though.
Yeah, like someone's like, "Oh man, I gotta open this box," or like, "I can't open this box of pastries. Does anyone have a knife to cut this twine?" Well, is that a Dracula collector's knife?
This is something that, like, the best friend in a horror movie would have, you know, the one that's into the horror movies and they think is like a real geek until they got the knowledge.
Yeah.
For what they need to do to get rid of the monster.
Knife for something very important later.
Yeah, they set it up and it's like, oh, look at that lame knife, and then later that goes straight into Dracula's neck.
It's the only knife that can kill him. When I was a kid, unironically, my goal in life was to be that kid. Like to have a library.
To be the horror movie friend.
Yeah, so like people would come to me if they needed to know how to kill something.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh, well, according to the comic lore.
Let's see here.
I'll search it up on the early internet and here's what you do.
We'll go there. So then they go through all the Halloween preview, which is shocking to me how much Halloween content was on in 1998. I mean, half of these shows I have zero recollection of, like Conrad Bloom. I don't know what that show was.
That's funny that you don't know what a show is, because like, last time I was on here, there was nothing, no deep cut I could throw out that you did not know.
I don't know any Conrad Bloom heads who are like, NBC's Conrad Bloom from 98 was probably the greatest show of all time.
I do want to get into this, but I had one more ad that I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
This was very special. It was a very special Baywatch that they had an ad for, and it's for an episode called Dolphin Quest, which is one I have not covered yet, but it's pretty good, because basically they got the kid from Mercury Rising to play an autistic savant again,
of course.
Except this time there's dolphins. So
who are like the autistic savants of the sea.
Yeah, I think that's the idea of the episode, because the dolphins help the autistic child to socialize with people because dolphins or something. That may be the one that Garner returns in too. Off the top of my head, I think maybe that was the one he came back for.
Oh yeah, I see it here. A very special Baywatch. The miracle of life penetrates. Okay, first of all, if you say the miracle of life penetrates, anything you say after that is disgusting.
What page was this even on? I don't know
this is on page
65
of the PDF.
65. I'll show Phelan in case he didn't note it.
Oh my God.
They're very special Baywatch.
The miracle of life penetrates a young boy's silent world.
Yeah. This is a very special late 90s Baywatch for sure.
All I can think of is there's a Halloween episode of Wings called The Gift of Life, and the premise of it is someone leaves a cooler on the plane that they think is a donated organ, but it's actually horse sperm for like so they rush to the hospital and they keep calling it The Gift of Life. And so they're in costumes. It's a very funny episode, but because of that, I'm just like, all right.
Well, maybe that was in that Baywatch episode.
Yeah, it could have been. It's like, these horses need to. we gotta breed these horses. Animal husbandry didn't come up enough on Baywatch.
Yeah.
I once. I'm gonna brag for a moment. I was in Los Angeles and they were having really bad wildfires, and a friend of mine had to leave her house and she couldn't get a hotel with dogs. And so Donna D'Erico took in her animals at her farm.
Oh, that's nice.
She offered to take in people's animals during the fires.
Well, that's really cool.
Nice.
She was like, that's nice of her. We have, let's see. Okay, so then we get into
we
this.
were on the Halloween preview stuff.
Yes.
You were mentioning how much Halloween content there was. I feel like there's not enough Halloween specials now. Sometimes I'm looking back and I'm like, did you just imagine, because like you're a kid, everything seems cooler, and like, there was so much like cool stuff then in Halloween specials. But then you look now and it's like, no, there's not really. It's that much.
Time doesn't matter. Like, there's no day and date stuff where they're like, hey, this week is special. It's Halloween week.
Yeah.
So here's some
especially
cool
with
stuff.
streaming. It's like, there's no appointment television anymore.
I'm sure that's some like executive being like, we want our content to be agnostic to date, so people can watch it anytime.
Whatever.
For streaming
I think
shows,
people aren't looking for things to stream on Halloween. You just gotta advertise things
Of
and
course.
have UI that's easier to search, like here's our Halloween section.
Of course, Halloween
Christmas,
episodes.
whatever.
They even had wrestling pay-per-views, like Halloween-themed ones in this TV guide, because they had the WCW one,
Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
And then they had WWF Judgment Day, which sounds more Halloween-y than the pay-per-view really was.
Yeah, I feel like the Halloween Havocs were a little more Halloween themed.
Yeah, the Halloween Havocs tried more.
Yeah, depending on which year it was. I remember prominent Snickers ad placement.
Mm-hmm, yeah, they always had that.
It'd be good if the wrestlers had special finishing moves just for that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Gutbuster, they just shove candy down their mouth or something. Or poison apple, where I don't know. I don't know what that would be.
I feel like the Tombstone's just a gimme,
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's who was on the
Yeah.
cover for that one, Undertaker.
They're like, it's
called him,
Halloween, Undertaker.
They called him the Dark Hero of the WWF. I think by that point he was kind of a heel.
That poor guy, they're like, Undertaker, you definitely know what night you don't have off.
Yeah.
Don't even try. Because there's no Christmas-themed wrestler.
Yeah.
Although
there was probably a
Could've been,
shitty
Mick
Santa
Foley.
somewhere.
I
was gonna say, yeah.
Well, he's not a shitty Santa, but I don't think he ever dressed as Santa. But I bet there was some shitty Santa somewhere in some indie.
They had
wrestling.
Zanta.
Zanta?
In WWF briefly. Evil Santa.
What?
I could see
Evil
like a
Santa?
Krampus thing, but yeah.
Who played him? Balls Mahoney.
Balls Mahoney? Who is
that a
Balls
real name?
Mahoney?
He's mostly in ECW.
Oh, that sounds like I'm like, look at fucking Balls Mahoney over here. Fucking Santa Claus.
I'm just learning about Zanta. My whole world's been.
Also, you just put a Z in front of it, and that makes it the evil
Yeah,
one.
it was an X, actually.
That's
So does that
lamer than
mean-
the Z.
Does that mean Xena, Warrior Princess, is the evil one, and that there's
Yeah.
like a like a Cena?
Yeah.
Xena.
There were, I don't know how much Xena you've watched, but there were a lot of Xenas in Xena. So, I mean, there were kind of good ones and bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of evil to start. So.
Yeah, she was evil to start. She redeemed herself, so maybe the good ones went bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they are, on the other side of the world, so maybe things are opposite. The toilets go the other way,
Yeah.
and the evil is the bad one. Some of the highlights here. There's the Emerald Live has a Halloween episode.
What page are you on? By
I'm
the
on
way?
page 14 of the PDF.
14. Okay. Yeah, Emerald Live. I love Food Network Halloween stuff. It's
Yeah.
so corny and so bad, but I love it.
It's my favorite thing about it is they're just not like, hey, we have a bunch of people with a set of skills who are going to make cool stuff. And someone's like, what else they doing? I'm like, we'll put an artificial timeline and then make things break and people lose. Okay. Like, why does there have to be a competition? Just make the stuff. They're like, oh my God, we only have 2 minutes left. But like, why? You've arbitrarily made that up.
Because you want to see the mess up. You're sitting at home eating cheese doodles, and you're like, you idiot. You tried to make ice cream on this timeline.
You went for brittle and sugar glass, you fucking asshole. Yeah,
Oh, look at the way they carved that pumpkin on Halloween.
Nice knife skills, you loser. I would like it
Should use the Dracula knife.
Yeah, you have to. That's the you have to carve this pumpkin only with a Dracula knife.
See, that would be something they would do on like Cutthroat Kitchen Halloween for sure. Because that knife was shit.
Of course,
it didn't cut for shit. It was like, this is for decorative purposes only.
Yeah, you don't want to cut your food with it on a commemorative plate. No. I would like it if they had like all the ingredients on like a dunk tank. Or like they burst into flames or something when the time was up. Like,
I feel like that's something that Cutthroat Kitchen would do though, and then they would ruin it and be like, "Yeah, cook with this, idiot." There are shows like that.
Well, I need to explore that world. Clueless had an amazing Halloween episode that they talk about here. It's a 2-parter. It's a Scream spoof, but they actually take it very seriously.
Really? I've never seen any of the Clueless shows.
So. The Clueless show is fantastic. It's single camera, no laugh track. It's kind of better than the movie.
Really?
It has most...
I would have thought it would be like a bad sitcom type thing.
No, it's more like a good teen sort of dramedy. And it has most of the cast. The only one who's not from the cast in it is Alicia Silverstone.
Okay.
Everyone else is on it. It's kind of shocking. Brimstone, which is a totally underrated show. I don't know if you guys remember Brimstone.
I don't remember Brimstone.
So the premise of this show is Peter Horton was a cop who went to hell. And he's like, it's kind of like Spawn. He's like, all right, I can't be in hell. So the devil's like, I'll let you out of hell if you become a bounty hunter for demons for me.
That sounds amazing.
And like souls that escape from hell. So every episode it would be like, all right, if you go, kill this, get this guy back in hell for me, you can hang out with your wife for 2 weeks or whatever. So, and they have John Glover as the devil, and he's awesome.
Oh, nice.
That seems like the best casting ever.
It's the show was like, I don't know how this show doesn't have a major cult audience. Like, this is a no-brainer to be streaming
This
somewhere.
seems like a show, correct me if I'm wrong, that was probably canceled very early, and people are like, why was this canceled very early?
It's a 13-episoder.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the premiere this week. They paired it with Millennium, which also no one really liked, even though I think it's great. And
yeah, they were advertising this Millennium episode through this TV guide where like the band Kiss is in it playing themselves. There's a serial killer involved. I've never seen Millennium, but this sounds insane to me.
So Millennium is Lance Hendrickson of Near Dark. And the premise is it's sort of like the original Manhunter movie. He plays a serial killer, like profiler hunter, who gets in their heads too much. He's got to shake it off after a while. But he doesn't, the sort of running story is he doesn't work for the government. He works for this group called the Millennium Corporation. And as it goes on, it turns out that this group is actually like evil and is trying to bring about the apocalypse. And it's good. It's good. It's in the X-Files universe.
Right. I knew it was part of that. I think that I mean, we've seen all of the X-Files. His character was on it at one point.
They tied up. It ended on a cliffhanger. Second season. This is second season. Second season's kind of better because they were like, well, we're probably going to get canceled, so just do whatever the fuck you want. So there's a lot of comedy episodes. There's an episode where these demons meet at a diner and they all complain about times that that Frank Black, who's the main character of Millennium, like foiled their plans. So it's like an anthology episode.
So this is basically like X-Files after they stopped caring and just did whatever the fuck.
Yeah. And I am not a fan of Kiss. Kiss is one of the greatest disappointments in a young man's life. Because you're like, this band look how cool they are, and then you listen to them and you're like, this is terrible.
Kiss was almost on Baywatch.
I'm surprised they weren't.
They were. It was because I have a bunch of scripts for Baywatch episodes, and this is in the Phantom of the Opera one, I think. One of them, it says in the script, like, they have a cameo scene for Kiss, like, if they can get them. So I think it was up in the air whether they would get them or not. So it's just a short, like, they just walk in at lifeguard headquarters and something stupid happens and they leave. But apparently this was on the table at some point.
It would be hard to keep Gene Simmons out of Baywatch episodes. Like, they'd constantly be like, Gene...
it may have been a scheduling conflict. Who knows what happened?
They were busy at WCW.
I'm at the Playboy Mansion then, I can't be on Baywatch.
Well, it would seem like if he was at the Playboy Mansion, Baywatch would be like, oh, okay, we're filming there anyway.
Right?
So.
And Shannon Tweed was she had to be in an episode of Baywatch, I have to imagine.
She was, yeah. I think she was in maybe a season 2 episode,
so
unless I'm forgetting.
He was on set. There's no way that he wasn't there, whether they knew it or not. Cupid is an interesting show. So Cupid is Jeremy Piven, who's a real piece of shit, but which, funny story, after he got Me Too'd, rightfully so, he did the thing where a lot of actors or infamous people who can't get jobs anymore do, where they decide to go into the lucrative world of stand-up comedy.
Oh, to show how canceled they are?
Yes.
I've been silenced. Yeah.
So it's more like an excuse to have meet and greets. So when he did his Boston meet and greet, he did it at this comedy club, and he's there, and a guy just walked up to him and punched him in the balls and walked away.
This should happen more often to assholes. Like
they have it on the security footage, and it's the funniest thing. And when we do that club, we'd be like, get the footage, and we just watch it over and over and over.
It's amazing.
It's very funny. But this show was weird. So Jeremy Piven played a guy who thought, you didn't know if he was Cupid or just thought he was Cupid.
Okay. I've seen one episode. I remember nothing about it at this point.
It was okay. But the weirdest thing is it got canceled and then they rebooted it like 10 seasons later. Not in the same continuity, but with the same cast and the same show.
Wait, like 10 seasons, like 10 years?
Yes. They were like...
They rebooted Cupid?
Let's try Cupid again.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Who was clamoring for more Cupid? There's so many other shows that people wanted to see finished up, and they're like, Cupid.
Yeah. Paula Marshall was the lead, and she was like, I don't know what that was about. I don't know why they did that again, but they did. It was very strange. The Terrible Guys Like Us, which was Chris Hardwick's post-singled out, pre-reinventing himself as a geek Svengali, falsely sitcom on UPN.
I don't recall this at all.
The co-star in the show was an actor named Bumper Robinson.
Bumper Robinson. I wonder if that was his given name, or when he had to come up with a stage name, he's like, I've got it.
I think his real name is Bumper Jones.
Oh.
Hang out with Balls Mahoney.
There was already Balls Mahoney. There was already a Bumper Jones though. So
yeah, in SAG there was a Bumper Jones, so he was like, I guess I'll use my maiden name. So you have Getting Personal, which is one of the 7,000 sitcoms that starred Jon Cryer before 2.5 Men.
Yeah, he certainly made the rounds.
Oh yeah, there's
sitcoms.
There's an interview in here with Tim Burton, which is actually kind of interesting. Because it's the most humanized I've ever seen Tim Burton, and it's a 4-question interview.
What was it about? I don't remember.
So it's just like they're showing Nightmare Before Christmas on Monster Fest on AMC, and they're like, "Do you have a favorite horror movie?" And he talks about Black Sunday, the Mario Bava movie, which is a pretty cool check there. Then they ask him if he's going to make any scary movies, and he talks about how Sleepy Hollow's coming out. But then they say, "Do you celebrate Halloween?" And he says, "I still try to get candy. Halloween is always my favorite holiday." And then this is the most personal biographical information I've ever read about Tim Burton. They say, "Do you have a favorite Halloween costume?" And he says, "I remember going to the prom dressed in a yellow tuxedo." Which was the scariest costume ever. That is the single most humanizing bit of information I've ever heard about Tim Burton.
I've not read a lot of Tim Burton interviews, but that's amazing.
Very exciting. And then Two Guys, a Girl in a Pizza Place, Two of a Kind, the Mary-Kate
I love
and
that
Ashley.
Two Guys, a Girl in a Pizza Place. I remember it being on. I'm sure I saw some of it. I don't remember it, but I just liked the evolution of taking "and a pizza place" off. Like, that was the big reboot.
Yeah.
I won't watch that unless they get rid of that pizza place.
Wait, Two Guys and a Girl?
The pizza place ruins everything. That pizza place was based on, so it was these guys that went to Emerson College created that show. And it was supposed to take place in Somerville, Mass, where I used to live. And the pizza place was based on this place called Peenie's Pizza, which 100% looks like penis pizza. There's no way to name this place. It's still open. But they look it up. Peenie's Pizza. It doesn't matter font. It doesn't matter spacing. It's penis pizza. But
peenies is short for penis anyway.
Yeah.
So
like teeny peenies. So the guys, when they went to Emerson, they used to hang out at this pizza place. So they're like, this show's about us. And then there's that SNL sketch where they did the spinoff and a pizza place got its own show. Do you remember that?
Right,
sketch?
Yeah, I do remember that. That's partially why I remember Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place so well.
It's very Ryan Reynolds heavy. It's Friends-ish. It's fine. It's not, it's very of its time. But the thing that I love the most here is, to your point about why don't they have specials anymore, the spooky specials section. And this is, one-offs.
Oh, yeah.
We have Alien Voices, Halloween Trilogy, which is Sci-Fi Channel. And I don't know why it's called Alien Voices, because the stories that they're adapting are The Cask of Ana Montaldo, The Mark of the Beast, and The Canterville Ghost.
All very alien stuff.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen any of these adapted except Canterville Ghost, and it sucked ass.
Yeah.
So
There's been a few adaptations.
This seems like a very boring special.
Then the Cincinnati Pops, world-renowned Cincinnati Pops, holiday, Eric Kunzel's Halloween Spooktacular with Robert Guillaume and Tom Wopat.
Whoa. This sounds like a thrill ride.
Halloween Homes on Home and Garden. And it says,
yes.
Is there a shower in Janet Leigh's home? Names and Glass Tours.
I'd be watching that, though, is there?
I never thought about that.
Whoa.
Learning Channel with haunted lighthouses. And MTV has Videos That Don't Suck, hosted by cast members from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Amazing. I've seen clips of that. I didn't watch that as that aired, but I have seen clips of the Buffy Videos That Don't Suck, and it's very good.
Oh, is it?
I mean, it's good in that, it's corny and bad, but it's good. It's just them goofing off on the library set, basically. And then introducing videos.
Maybe my favorite piece in this whole thing, there's a thing called Costume Confessions, and they interview famous people about their worst Halloween costume, best and worst.
Yeah.
So these surprised me. The one, Patricia Richardson kind of cheats. She says her best was on Home Improvement. She was a large carrot. Jenna Elfman says the worst was an Indian outfit, and I thought it would be because it's an Indian outfit. But she says all the beads fell off.
Isn't that just the way? I liked everyone's got kind of here's their favorite or least favorite and why. And then Fred Savage is just I don't know. I was Groucho Marx one time. He doesn't say good or bad.
No.
Just these were things that I dressed up as at some point. And Jimmy Durante.
That's what was interesting to me, because he doesn't mean it this way, but it makes it sound like at the same time. Like the half man, half woman costume. He's half Groucho Marx and half Jimmy Durante. Donny Osmond, this one is the best story, I think. In the 70s, they used to make Donny and Marie costumes, so I put on a Marie Osmond costume.
That's very good.
Then they interviewed Judd Nelson, and I forgot he was on Suddenly Susan, because I'm like, why is Judd Nelson in here? Was in college when he wore what he was wearing and claimed he was a college student. Lazy Judd Nelson. Lazy.
Yeah, I like they interviewed Conan O'Brien on this.
Yep.
I don't like that they interviewed Rob Schneider.
No. His answer's perfectly Rob Schneider if you want to read it for the listeners.
Yeah.
Okay. In the 4th grade, I dressed up as a girl for Halloween day at school. But it wasn't Halloween day at school. It was humiliating. But to my own credit, I stuck it out all day and the following day.
Yeah. I'm like, first of all, Rob Schneider.
Halloween Meister. Rob Schneider is a carrot.
I just want to dress like a girl and I'm ashamed of it. But I do it as a joke.
It's a very 98 joke, though, to be like, I dressed as a girl.
When I was in high school, all the girls would do the lamest costume where they would just wear their pajamas and say they were dressed as a baby. Did you guys have that?
Oh, no. That sounds weird. I feel like the most overused Halloween costume that I would see is just like cat ears.
Yeah.
I'm a cat.
Maybe the whiskers. Maybe draw
the
them
whiskers
on there.
if they, yeah.
Do you guys have a best or worst Halloween costume?
To think about what my costumes were, it's like, what was the worst?
The worst one. One time I dressed as a hippie and it was just a tie-dye shirt. That was pretty lazy.
That was a 90s classic.
That was bad. Yeah. I don't know. Best. Oh, my mom made a Little Mermaid costume for me. And I wore that like a few years because it's pretty good. Like it was all like one outfit. You know, like it had like the belly was attached to it, made out of cloth.
Seashell. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you walk? Were the fins covering shoes?
Yeah, it was just like it was open in the bottom. It had the fin, but you could walk in it.
So your mother wasn't vindictive, like, oh, you want a Little Mermaid costume? I'll make you a Little Mermaid costume. Have fun trying to trick or treat.
She did. I don't think she made like a lot of costumes for me. It's just that one time she did, and I really loved it because I like Little Mermaid. So
that's pretty
sweet. That was my coolest.
My worst had a complicated backstory, which is always a bad one because you have to explain too much to people. And when I was about 9 years old, I got in my head that for Halloween, I wanted to be a circus clown who was the guy that they shot out of a cannon, but it misfired, and I blew up in the cannon. So
it's a good idea. I can see how some translation issues
so I was like a burned kind of hobo-y clown thing. People were like, and it's Boston, so people were like, what the hell are you? And I would explain it to them, and they'd be like, all right, weirdo. I'm not giving you candy. Get out of my house.
I think your Ghostbusters costume was good. I mean, it wasn't just for Halloween, but
the proton pack replica, that turned out to be a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a bit of
pretty authentic
of Ghostbusters trivia that you I may have already told you this last time, but the controversy from the first one with the zombie cab driver, and they're like, is it a ghost? Is it a zombie?
Right.
Oh, okay. Was that a controversy?
I guess. I got the definitive answer from Steve Johnson, who designed that and designed Slimer. And he said, it's a fucking puppet.
Put that in all the making of books now. It's a fucking puppet.
It's a fucking puppet. That's what it is.
Oh, I think Sharp Hand Joe was a really good costume, too.
Oh, that is a good one.
It.
Yeah.
He was Sharp Hand Joe, the bootleg toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anyone recognize that? Although, did you just do it for the show?
Did we wear it anywhere?
No, I think we just wore it like in video. I mean, we wore it on Halloween.
Wore it on the video.
Well, you wore it. It's not like we both wore it, but
I don't think anyone said, Sharp Hand Joe. Like,
I think when you posted it online, people knew it was Sharp Hand Joe.
I posted it like next to the picture of the toy, so most people would get it.
I guess like you're like, nah, save the explanation.
Yeah. You didn't make like a Ben Cooper with Sharp Hand Joe written on the shirt. This TV guide is a real value because it also comes with a holiday greeting card. There's a Happy Halloween from South Park card you can cut out.
Oh, yeah. Did anyone cut this out and send it to someone?
On extremely thin magazine paper.
Yeah, what?
I guess you could glue it to like a piece of cardboard or something.
What a weird idea.
But they say artwork by South Park. For
South
TV
Park
guide.
Themselves.
South Park drew this. There's also an article on Matt Pinfield, who's standing in front of an oddly sexual set that I do not recall actually being on MTV ever. It's
who's Matt Pinfield again?
He
MTV
was the
music maestro.
Yeah, he used to host 120 Minutes. Talk like this. He was kind of like a gruff guy. Looks a little bit like a genie.
Okay. I could see a genie there in the picture.
Today I'm interviewing Henry Rollins. Yeah, it was a really great album. Like, he was basically like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's weird. He's like in the Clockwork Orange milk bar.
Yeah, I don't know. I did not watch MTV back in the day. I didn't have cable until like late 99. So I didn't really watch a lot of MTV during this time.
It had been over by then.
Yeah, they were going into the 2000s. They were getting into like the dating reality show stuff, maybe a little later into the 2000s, but that's kind of the MTV that I saw most of the time. Was
16
like
and Pregnant.
Next, and yeah, those really
Pregnant
shitty
Pranks.
ones. Date My Mom or whatever.
I think MTV was on our basic cable package, so we didn't have it.
You had to get like special satellite stuff or something.
Oh, because did you have like Much Music or the box? Were those...
Yeah, we had Much Music. That's what I saw.
Was Much Music just videos, or did they have like programming?
They had some programming, but it did play videos more than MTV, I guess.
They didn't go into original programming like Dead at 21 or...
No, not as far as I know.
the new Much Music series. Then, unrelated to Halloween, before we get to listings, there's for some reason a really long interview where they took Jeremy Mathers and Frank Bank. That's the guy's real name, who played Lumpy Rutherford on Leave It to Beaver. They took him out to lunch and then just interviewed him for 4 pages.
Beaver and Lumpy. Yeah, I did not read this article. I was like, there's nothing of interest to me here.
It's weird. That show wasn't really airing. Anyone who liked it by 90, it was really old.
Yeah, I feel like it's the boomer nostalgia of that day, you know? Like they're like, ooh.
I like
the 50s stuff or whatever you call boomers from then.
I'm glad it reminded me that Frank Bank was a thing. Frank Bank, nice to meet you.
One thing I did note from here, this is the last thing I noted before getting into actual programming, but they were really pushing The Man Who Knew Too Little.
Oh,
There's so much about it. I guess it just came out and they're like...
the Gene Siskel article where he's the critic who laughed too little.
Yeah, like they're like, this sucks. Anyway, watch it here.
Yeah, it's a glowing recommendation.
Him getting bitchy is one of my favorite things in life. I often rewatch old Siskel and Eberts, and my favorite thing that always happens is Siskel will complain that a movie wasn't sexy enough. And then he will describe how that movie should have been different to make it sexier. Every time. And then Roger goes, well, Gene, that's a different movie. Well, you make that movie. It happens at least once an episode. Very strange. Also, naked babies in here. A phenomenon that I've noticed America seems to have forgotten about was just how many naked babies we had in ads. And then,
sorry, what ad is this? Not that I'm searching for the naked baby, but
page 27 of the PDF. It's for Huggies Supreme Care baby wipes with ripple soft texture.
See, I'm on 27. I don't see the baby wipes. There's no naked baby here.
It's next to
it's inside a diaper.
Oh, it's inside a diaper?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell.
It's
a little blown out.
She's topless.
She's topless. That's true. I didn't think about that. It is a girl baby.
But there's a lot of baby butts in ads and stuff for this time where they're just like, oh, what? Naked babies on TV? What?
Yeah, that's true. They had there was some stock footage they filmed for Baywatch early on that involved a baby butt. This was like, I think, part of their original pitch pilot stuff. And in later episodes, I don't know if this was just for the DVD or when they aired it, they censored the baby butt. So they used the same stock footage, but they had like a black censor bar on the baby's butt.
Didn't they just blur it?
No, it was a baby.
They made it really obvious,
the bar
like Girls
on the baby
Gone
butt.
Wild baby butts.
Yeah, but I don't know if this was how it aired or if it was just on the DVDs. They thought it wasn't appropriate anymore.
Let's draw more attention to it.
For the HD remaster, they replaced the footage with something else, but they forgot to take the original footage out of the corner that they put in there to synchronize it. So
they replaced it with a baby front, which was way more offensive.
And she's got like a big boobs and like running in slow-mo
with a pacifier in her mouth.
It's that babies in makeup thing from SNL.
That's terrible. Like, some of you didn't get that. We'll play it again. No.
Skip, thank you. We got it. We just we rejected it. Soundly.
We're gonna pretend this never happened.
Yeah.
So let's jump in. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, this is like
one more thing.
This is like a 500-hour episode. I apologize, guys. And let me know if you guys have to go have lives at any point.
No, we're fine.
On Saturday, there is an ad for a thing you can buy. It's only $14.95. It is called Rainbow Dreams. And it is features iridescent horn and wings, hand-numbered edition. Bisque a little statue of 4 3/4 height. It's basically a My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the rainbow behind the logo and everything.
Yeah, the little pony there. I do have some interest in My Little Pony. I don't know if you could tell all the millions of My Little Ponies behind me.
But this is not something you would buy.
No. Well, I guess if I was a kid at a garage sale, I was known to buy little trinkets sometimes that may have looked like this. So maybe back then I wouldn't pay $15 for it.
No. Limit.
They had they had a couple of
collector.
They had a couple of ads like this, because I know there was another one that it wasn't like a pony, but it was another like cutesy little thing you could order.
I love the wording.
There's like a porcelain collector doll. That's a little creepy.
That's creepy.
There's some creepy stuff.
Maybe that's what I was
always a
thinking
creepy
of.
doll. I love the very formal language of the respond by November 28th. It says, "I need to send no money now." Which sounds like something that Adonis, son of Walmart employee, would say. I need send no money now, Adonis.
I need send no money
of Walmart.
Just son of Walmart.
Takes off in his vehicle. Trail of dust behind him.
Oh man, it's Adonis in his tiny Jeep. So, Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Did you guys pick separately?
We did,
and you have not revealed to each other.
We've not discussed it with each other.
This is going to be fun. All right, let's go in. We'll do ladies first. Allison, what did you go with on Saturday night?
All right, Saturday I had 2 picks. I started a little early because it was the premiere of Halloween Town on the Disney Channel.
Which I only know from your video.
Oh, well, it's an excellent movie, and it was on Disney Channel a lot along with the sequels, so I saw it quite a bit. I didn't see it at the premiere because I didn't have cable then, but if I did, I would be watching Halloween Town from 7 to 8:30, and then it's followed up with Hocus Pocus until 10, so that's my double feature.
And Phelan?
8. I had a few ors, but it's like... I was like, Xena or Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I put Xena as an almost as well, and Hercules right after.
Or The Man Who Knew Too Little.
Just 'cause they told
you were the target audience.
Yeah.
He does like that movie. He showed it to me.
I think it's still kind of funny.
You guys passed up some stuff I was surprised by. Like, you passed up, well, first of all, I'd always go with Sábado Gigante, which I don't know if you're familiar with.
No.
But was a show on Univision in Spanish that was on for like 40 years. It was on for 3 hours every Saturday night. Sábado Gigante means big Saturday or giant Saturday. And it is the...
You think we were watching the Spanish language
I don't speak
channels?
Spanish.
I did, before I had cable, I would watch the Nicktoons in Spanish because there was a channel that would air it on regular TV.
If you get some time, go on YouTube and look at some old clips of Sábado Gigante. Because it's an old man... I don't even know the genre of show. It's sort of like if Price is Right was also a beauty contest and a talk show and had a lot of little people dancing.
Okay, that sounds insane.
And the guy who hosts it looks like both of the Macarena guys, but as one person.
Okay.
And it was like any Saturday night, I'd be like, this is the most insane. And you never knew it was going to be on. It would be the weirdest thing ever. And so I'd always tune into that. But it is the NBC Saturday Night Thrilogy, is what they're calling this. And there's a series premiere of this sort of Baywatch-influenced family show.
Okay.
Called Wind on the Water.
I haven't heard of that one. I've heard a lot of knockoff shows, but not this one.
This show, it starred Bo Derek. And it's the saga of surfing cowboys in Hawaii.
Well, that sounds boring, to be honest.
The ad says extremely hot, extremely cool, but extremely spelled with just X's. So I think it's the evil version of extremely.
I see. Okay, I found the ad here.
Bo Derek stars at Cecile Connolly, the matriarch of a traditional Big Island ranching clan with an affinity for extreme sports. In the opener, the Connollys are beset by financial problems, and greedy land developer Gardner Poole makes things worse by diverting the ranch's water supply. And his name is Gardner Poole. And he's stealing their water supply. Riding to the rescue are Connolly's siblings, Cole and Kelly, who square off against Poole's son, Val, in a high-stakes surfing showdown. And then, to end it, meanwhile, back at the ranch, tragedy strikes.
That's Baywatch, all right. There's always a meanwhile.
If it was hot enough, maybe Siskel liked it.
No, I wanted to see the sexy girl. I wanted to see her surfing, when she wasn't wearing clothes. I thought that was what I would. I know that was the story. Gene. There's also the television series version of The Net.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that was good.
Starring Brooke Langton of Melrose Place in the Sandra Bullock role.
Definitely one of those. You're like, that had a TV series.
What were the stories?
I know.
I feel like every other year I'm reminded that exists. It may have been you reminding me, because I don't know why else I'd be like, The Net?
I probably brought up because of Dennis Miller.
Oh, okay. I think it's you going like, I keep forgetting Dennis Miller was in The Net.
Yeah.
In the show, though, right? Not the
No, he's in the movie.
Oh, he's in the movie. Yeah, okay.
No, they were trolling for tuna, and they pulled up a net with Dennis Miller in it. There's also the really bizarre reboot of Fantasy Island with Malcolm McDowell.
I'm sure that was also very good.
Super creepy and not good. But this is their Halloween episode where a novelist played by John Ailes, who's basically playing Stephen King, wants to experience the supernatural. So Mr. Rourke sets him up in a haunted house. And an older woman, played by Louise Fletcher, wants to take dancing lessons.
Good. All right.
This lady's like, I'd like to take dancing lessons. He's like, done. I'd like to be in an actually haunted house. Sure.
How is that their fantasies?
I don't know.
I feel like they're really stretching for what people's fantasies are.
Dancing, not even be a dancer, just take dancing lessons.
Take a dancing lesson. Not to be a good dancer. I just dream of, you can accomplish that very easily to take a dance lesson.
And this is a show, I'm surprised there's not like 8 YouTube channel rewatch dedication channels to this show. I'd never heard of it before. It's called Neon Rider. And this
I saw the name around. It was Neon Rider.
After escaping from the ranch, a habitual runaway and his mentally disabled brother become involved with a street gang.
I feel bad for kind of laughing there, but it just sounds like a very late 90s plot for something.
Why is that a show?
I don't know.
Oh man.
I wouldn't be watching that. I do feel like there were so many choices that I was turning down choices that I would be watching, because during this, I was picking, if I could, Halloween-themed ones, because this is a Halloween episode. I'm in the Halloween spirit already. But there was, that Xena Hercules double feature.
Yes.
On Saturday that sounded pretty good, because this was during when the Hercules was starting to get kind of good. It was during his Irish arc.
Right.
He goes to Ireland after Iolaus dies for the millionth time, and they had somewhat of a decent, semi-serious arc with it, and Hercules was always kind of the goofy, dumber show, but they were kind of doing something there. And then Xena, it was a very complicated episode where she goes. Gabrielle is also dead at this point. They're just killing off the sidekicks. Gabrielle's dead, but she thinks she can find her somewhere else because she might still be alive.
Oh, it's where she's searching all the afterlives?
No. Well, it's after that.
Oh, okay.
It's after the afterlife thing. She thinks Gabrielle's alive, so she goes back to Gabrielle's hometown, but then finds her look-alike half-god evil daughter, who is with her monster son called the Destroyer, who's this weird spiky creature thing, and it's pretty good. It is kind of a spooky episode.
Well, this is prime Lucy Lawless time because she's hosting SNL that night as well.
Oh, was she host? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Nice.
That's a good Lucy
Everything's
Lawless
coming up Lucy Lawless.
And then before we move on to Sunday, only because this makes no sense to me for a variety of reasons, there's an ad on page 55 for a show called SOF. SOF. Special Ops Force. And it's from Jerry.
Okay.
It says from Jerry Bruckheimer, producer of Armageddon. And then it says Malone versus Rodman. And that's all you get for information.
Yeah, what are they? Are they in hand-to-hand combat? Are they?
I don't know. It's also a 3/4 page ad for a show that airs at 1:35 a.m.
Please, someone watch this.
And there's no additional information. It just says Special Ops Force, 1 hour.
I gotta stay up for this one.
Wait, it's Malone versus Rodman on SOF? And Jerry Bruckheimer produced it? I once met Jerry Bruckheimer and told him I didn't like the movie I just watched that he had produced.
And he's like, this call's over.
No, in person.
Oh, in person. And then he went, this call's over.
Yeah, he hung up. He asked me for my phone number right there into my face. And he called me and hung up on it. It was that movie, Remember the Titans?
Oh, okay.
And I went to some weird screening of it in Boston, and he was full on still dressed like Miami Vice. This was like 2000, like the 5 o'clock shadow, the pushed up sleeves. And so he's like, hey, what'd you think of the movie? And I was like, I didn't really care for it. And he was like, well, I was being honest. And then he was asking me why. He's like, what didn't you like? And I went on like, I told him.
Well, he asked.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not going to lie. I don't care. What's Jerry Bruckheimer going to do? If you ever meet Jerry Bruckheimer, guys, just tell him what you think about Soph.
Okay.
I
bet that's lost media. Did anyone preserve Soph?
No, because this is sort of in the lost media era, the end of the 90s into like the mid 2000s, when people started getting TiVos and stuff. Nobody put anything on videotape, really. So there's tons of shows, oddly, you cannot find. It's easier to find 70s shows and 80s shows that people taped. But like late 90s into the 2000s, there's a ton of lost shows.
That's true. I didn't think about the fact with TiVo that would have eliminated a lot of the physical copies people recorded, even if they wanted to see something like, okay, I'll just delete it.
I do have a friend who would buy TiVos from like Goodwill and then just see what was on them.
Oh, that seems like a cool treasure hunt.
Yeah. It was never anything good, but he enjoyed doing that.
Whenever you're looking up the shitty MTV reality shows of the early 2000s, if you find any records of them on YouTube, it's usually someone's TiVo'd copy that they put on there.
Yeah. I remember I had a DVR and I would then burn them onto DVD-R. I realized I was the only one probably doing that for some things. Sunday in the afternoon, I will mention there is the premiere of the Air America series based on the movie Air America with Mel Gibson from like 1990 or something. But this has Lorenzo Lamas in the Mel Gibson role.
Well, you know it's good if it stars Lorenzo Lamas.
And a special guest star, Apollonia.
Is she a singer?
Yeah.
Apollonia?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
She's in Purple Rain. She's she replaced Vanity in the Vanity 6 and Apollonia 6.
Okay.
Which became Apollonia later. So Sunday, let's start with Phelan. What'd you do?
A couple special mentions, I guess, before 8. I saw Baywatch was on. Then WWF Wrestling. I'm not sure which show that would have been. It might have been Sunday Night Heat. And Muppets Tonight was on. Some good stuff.
Nice. I didn't see Muppets Tonight was on.
Yeah, that was on at 7.
I'm not a huge wrestling guy, but that means Heat was on the night before Raw?
Yeah.
It seems like wrong order.
Work. It's kind of like the small lead-in, I guess. You get like a little bit of story.
Heat was like a little better than Shotgun, basically.
Yeah, Heat was above Shotgun. Okay, actually around 8, I didn't find a lot. I said dinosaurs, maybe.
There's a rerun of Dinosaurs.
Voyager, I guess, at 9, and then Columbo was on at 10.
Voyager I watched in the last couple of years. My wife Rachel really likes it, and I was getting hired to do like Q&As at cons a lot, and it was with a lot of Voyager cast members, so I'm like, I should probably watch this.
Oh, did you talk to Garrett Wong? He does a lot of the... Yeah.
I did.
He seems like a good guy.
He was a very nice guy. Everyone was really nice, and Janeway, whose name I can't recall at the moment.
Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew, who is... AOC is the biggest Kate Mulgrew fan on Earth. And there's
really?
Yeah, there's like these videos online of Kate Mulgrew surprising her at events. There's like a whole series of them. It's really weird. But I was sitting backstage and Kate Mulgrew came in just like loudly complaining about something and sat down next to me and like put her hand on my knee and then was just kept talking to everybody else and then stopped mid-sentence and looked at me and went, "Who are you?" Oh, it was a good day. Is that all your picks?
Yeah, that's all my picks.
How about you, Allison?
All right, I kept it simple. 8 to 10, Casper: A Spirited Beginning.
What is this?
Oh, you don't know Casper: Spirited Beginning?
Is this made for TV?
Oh yeah, it's a made-for-TV, direct-to-video, Saban-produced Casper movie. I was all over like Fox Family / ABC Family during this era. Like this is a little bit before I got cable, but once I did, I was watching a lot of this. There's ads for like New Addams Family on here. I would watch some of that. Casper: Spirited Beginning. It's like they're kind of following the theatrical Christina Ricci thing, pretending it's a prequel to it, but doesn't make a lot of sense as a prequel. So this is like, it starts with him on a train, like he's just died. And that's the beginning of Spirited Beginning. And it's, it's a mix of CGI and live action, like the Christina Ricci one was. It's a Saban movie, so it's terrible. It's like Addams Family reunion level of bullshit.
Well, hey.
But that's what I would be watching around like Halloween.
Lori
that
Loughlin and
Casper
Steve
meets Wendy.
Gutenberger in it, so...
Yeah, you know it's good if it's got the Gutenberg in it. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. It's probably the worst Casper movie. I liked Casper Meets Wendy better. It was also produced by them, I believe.
Wendy does a lot of the heavy lifting there, I think.
Yeah, she does.
So you watching that all night?
Yeah, that's the choice I had for 8 to 10. I was like, keep it simple. Did I have an almost choice on here? No, I didn't. No.
There's a show I've never heard of before. It's got a full page ad, and it's called a TV Guide Fall Favorite. It's a show called 7 Days. And
oh yeah, we tried watching that one, didn't we? 7 days, and it was.
I was interested by the premise, but I didn't like the execution of it at all.
Yeah, he goes back in time 7 days so he can prevent a disaster or whatever, and it was one of those like aggressively late 90s, early 2000s type of shows where it's like I am the mean woman character, and he's the kind of masculine bullshit guy you're supposed to like, and the cruddy acting and. It wasn't good. We wished it was good, but the premise was good. But
98% of the world's population is wiped out by a mutated Ebola virus, and then he goes back to so it's basically like 12 monkeys, but really dumb.
Yeah, probably. If I'd seen 12 Monkeys, I could confirm.
Some dude saw 12 Monkeys and went, "This would be way better if this was like a Van Damme movie or something."
I remember the lead actor not being very good in it either. He was kind of the crunchy, kind of handsome guy that would get a series in that era where they really shouldn't have.
No, my God.
Didn't have enough charisma.
Yeah.
He lacked Riz.
He was not the Rizzler.
Not the Rizzler. Good Batman villain. Monday, what'd you do? Let's start with Allison.
What did I do on Monday? Oh, 8 to 10, Beetlejuice. Another simple one.
Yeah. Have you seen the sequel?
Beetlejuice 8 to 10? Yeah, we just saw the sequel. It was pretty good.
They filmed all the Halloween scenes a block from my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It was weird because I think they filmed it in like a July or August 2 summers ago. So this whole neighborhood was done out like Halloween. It was weird.
That's pretty cool, though. I was wondering about that because it looked pretty convincingly fall. So
yeah, it was not fall at all, but they did a good job. And then it was like they got rid of it in like an hour somehow.
That's crazy.
It was insane. And then how about you, Phelan?
On Monday, I also had Beetlejuice. I put a few other things, though. At 9, I saw Sliders and Raw was on. So
Raw Sliders? Like steak tartare?
Like, Sliders are raw.
Sliders is another show that gets referenced all the time, but I don't know if I've really ever met anyone who is like a huge Sliders fan.
I liked it, but, it went downhill once they moved the show to sci-fi. And really once John Rhys Davies left, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't they replace Jerry O'Connell with his brother who didn't look like an
actor? He was on there with him at first, and then the characters were combined into one person via some accident or something.
Neither O'Connell, he's some other guy.
The Charlie O'Connell of Celebrity Bachelor fame.
Yeah. Oh, he was on Celebrity Bachelor?
I believe he was the Celebrity Bachelor or some similar thing where it's like, that's the reveal, like, Charlie O'Connell.
My brother's famous.
Yeah. No, Sliders, it's one of those shows, it was definitely one of those, like, Quantum Leap replacement shows. They're like, how do we kind of do this premise?
I really liked it at the beginning, though.
Yeah, it started out pretty good, but the way that they wrote off the characters, it was always the most mean-spirited, awful, worse than death exit they could have. It's not just that they get killed, it's like they go to like a colony where they're like raped and impregnated forever and then like made a head in a jar or something. By the Cro-Mags, or like blended into one person so they don't exist anymore. Like terrible things like that, where it's like you could have just had them, they liked one of the places and stayed there. That you could have had anything other than this awful fate that you gave them.
That's 100% vindictive producers. They were renegotiating a contract and they were like, oh, you want to leave? Okay.
It just felt like they hated them for, not staying with the show or whatever happened. It feels like stuff behind the scenes seeping on screen, and that sucks because they had a good premise.
Did you guys ever see the show Otherworld from the early 80s?
No, I think I've heard of it, but
it was actually pretty good. It was an NBC show, but it was kind of Sliders. This family, it was almost like a serious Land of the Lost. This family got sucked into like some kind of vortex, and so they ended up sort of unstuck in the multiverse and keep bouncing through different, basically like Sliders, like other alternate realities.
Oh, okay.
And it was really interesting and weird, and people hated it, but it's pretty good. Like, the pilot's worth watching. It's a pretty cool show, and I remember watching Sliders and being like, this is just Otherworld. What the hell? And people were like, shut up. Otherworld.
That was like when Monsters, Inc. came out. I'm like, it's just Little Monsters. I saw it before. It was cool.
Little Monsters, Inc. I also share a love of Little Monsters, by the way. That is and
good.
I had Frank Whaley on, and we talked about he was doing, what movie was it? What's the If They Build It They Will Come baseball movie? Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
He was doing Field of Dreams, I think it was, simultaneously with Little Monsters.
What? Who was? Sorry,
Frank Whaley, who plays Boy.
Frank Whaley, okay.
And so, because he was just like, I would take any job, because I'm like, I'm not going to say no to a job. And he almost missed his, like Little Monsters went over. So he almost like made the whole production of, I think it was Field of Dreams. It was like a big movie. And they were like, where have you been? He's like, I was doing Little Monsters.
I was in a warehouse filming like, with
this is a real movie. How dare you? Like, yelled at him. It was some crazy thing like that. Okay, Tuesday. Let's start with Phelan.
Tuesday, the O'Reilly Factor.
No fucking way you picked O'Reilly Factor.
No.
Shut the fuck up.
Batman and Robin was on at 8.
Very similar to the Orion Factor.
Yeah. 9, I picked Charmed. And then
why did you pick Charmed?
Probably.
You don't even like watching Charmed for the podcast?
Hate watching, Then at 10, House 2 was on.
Oh, House 2?
I guess in 98, Charmed had just started, though, so it wasn't really terrible.
Yeah, it's still Prue episodes.
Yeah, it might have been the premiere or close to.
So it'd probably still be more enjoyable, even if it was bad.
House 2?
What was your last choice? I forgot.
House 2.
Oh, yeah, that was on my maybes, House 2.
House 2, maybe the greatest tagline ever?
It was the second story.
It's up there with the Odd Get Even from Revenge of the Nerds.
The House 2 has no right being as good as it is.
I like it better than the first
it really has nothing. Yeah, I do too, I think, because it's like, it's not really related to the first one, but they made such a creative, interesting movie. It was better than 3 and 4 at any rate.
It's great. The only thing I have a problem with in House 2 is, for years, and I pitched this as a show once, I wanted to see a show where my idea was, in a world where like magic was a real thing, the people who knew about it wouldn't be like cool and wizards. They'd be like plumbers, right? Because they'd be guys who know like technical shit. So they would all basically be the character from House 2 would come in and be like, well, I got good news. You got goblins. How long are you going to be in the house for? You guys living here for a while? It'd be like, I could patch them up, or, you want to get rid of them. Like, it'd be that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which would be amazing. It would just be that Ratzenberg character.
Yeah.
So that's a good choice. The O'Reilly Factor.
I think I had, because that was like my what if choice. I had some other ones that I picked as Not O'Reilly Factor.
Not that.
So from 8 to 9, I picked Buffy. It was an episode called Beauty and the Beasts, where I believe the monster was some guy on some, like, roids.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they were even supernatural. They acted like it was some sort of potion or something, maybe kind of a weird science type thing, but I'm not sure it was actually magical. It just turned into like a creature type thing, and then he killed people, but they weren't sure if it was werewolf Seth Green or if it was Angel, who had just come back from the dead. So it was a decent episode, despite the fact it sounds kind of crappy. And then after that was, I didn't really see anything else on, so I just picked Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. There was something about a circus in the premise of that episode. I don't know. That's something I watched as a kid with my parents, and I think I liked it, but I don't really remember it now.
This premise is probably boring, but on the description, I'm imagining it like something Wicked This Way Comes. And it says, a whimsical woman, played by Fionnella Flanagan, and her daughter bring a circus to town. That's the whole description.
Oh, yeah, the Dr. Quinn. Yeah, it probably wasn't, though. It probably was like some old-timey circus thing, and they played some flute music, because I feel like that was kind of the thing that they would do. The only Dr. Quinn episodes I remember were always like the saddest things in the world. It would be like someone goes blind, or someone's kid dies, and then they're like dying and they're telling them about heaven or something. It's always like, it's always so depressing.
Did you ever see the Funny or Die video that Jane Seymour wrote and starred in called Dr. Quinn? I think it was called Dr. Quinn Cocaine Woman.
No.
So she came up with this sketch where she said, because the only thing she had to treat people with at that time was like booze and cocaine and like heroin, that she would end up being the biggest drug dealer in the whole like area. So it's this whole sketch about how she got basically everyone hooked on drugs and was like this gangster like drug dealer, and it's really funny. She wrote it.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's great. Wednesday, we'll start with Allison.
Day. So 8 to 8:30, The Nanny.
Okay.
I'd be all over The Nanny. And then 8:30 to 10:30, Robin Hood Men in Tights. Because that was on TV a lot, so I've got some nostalgia for that one.
The only movie I ever walked out of the theater.
So you loved it?
Yep.
Did you ever finish it,
Nope.
or it's just an unknown to
Never
you?
finished it. I think it was the scene where Dave Chappelle was blind with the Playboy. And I was like, I think I was probably 11, and I was like, this is bullshit.
I love you were so discerning at 11.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
This is not Mel Brooks.
This is insulting my intelligence.
Man. And then how about you, Phelan?
I have to look again. I think my Wednesday got deleted.
Oh, no. What was on Wednesday?
I think Charmed is on Wednesday, so I think it
Oh,
across
boy,
there.
more Charmed.
Dawson's Creek, New Night, New Time.
Dawson's Creek.
You messed up, Phelan.
Yeah, I messed up everything. O'Reilly Factor's on.
Oh, this Charmed episode is...
Oh, see, I think House 2 was on Wednesday. That's why I didn't have it written down on Tuesday.
Oh,
I think
did
you
I
mixed
screw
up
up?
your days.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's fine.
Yeah, because he said Charmed was on that other day. So
Oh.
This episode of Charmed is the Hollowells get an unexpected visit from their long-lost father.
yeah, see, I had
Okay,
Tuesday
yeah,
and then
I wrote
Tuesday. You wrote Tuesday
twice by
twice.
mistake. That's what I
Oops.
did. All right, well, I'll tell you what my stuff for a real Tuesday and Buffy. Stripes.
so you picked Buffy, too?
Yeah, I picked Buffy. Stripes or Spin City. I checked. It was a Michael J. Fox one.
Yeah, that is...
And then a House. The first one.
2 first, second one later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw one of the days had House 4 on it. I'm like, oh, they're just going through the House movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not the house party movies.
No.
I'm imagining someone who confuses the film series, and it's funny to me. Also, before we get into Allison's Wednesday, did we just have your Wednesday?
We just did
your
Wednesday. Yeah. I did
on
Wednesday.
page 111 of the PDF, there's an ad for one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. If you pull it up, I'll give one of you the honor of reading this ad for what it's for.
The dog thing?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read that, Phelan? Can you see?
Don't live in fear. Stop muckers, robbers, rave. Protect your family, home business. Learn to train dogs.
Yes.
Wow.
You don't see a lot of advertisements putting rape in there, do you?
No. Get an anti-rape dog. Finest trained dogs for sale.
That's something.
It's a mail order.
Okay, this is easier to read. Free evaluation. Any breed, any age. I feel like some breeds.
No. Can my Chihuahua protect me from robbers and muggers?
Registered master trainers, obedience, protection, guard, attack on command, United States Canine Academy.
And then what is...
Wow.
I thought this was a breed. It says German Shepherds and Doberman Pinschers. And then it says Magnificent Shepherd and Doberman Puppies. I thought a Magnificent Shepherd.
What breed is that? That's the really big ones. You have like teacup whatevers. Yeah.
Teacup, and then we got the thermos ones. Okay.
That's what Marmaduke was, a magnificent something.
It's a Magnificent Shepherd. Thursday, almost done with the week. Phelan, what'd you do?
On Thursday, at 8, WCW or X-Files, and then Diagnosis Murder, because I didn't see much else.
It's not a bad show.
Why would you pick Diagnosis Old Man unless you were bored?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like, I'm bored, I guess I'll watch Diagnosis Old Man.
I like how they put murder in the title for the most boring, like, low-stakes show. Also, I want to know someone who would actually say Diagnosis Murder. Like, you go to the doctor.
That would be an asshole, right? Like, my diagnosis, it was murder. The fuck?
What a way to find out.
It's something that would be unlike Dark Place.
Yeah.
The diagnosis was murder.
Oh boy, good night. How about you, Allison?
8 to 10, American Werewolf in London.
It's good.
Classic.
Good one.
John Landis sucks ass. I do have to.
I wish he
to say
didn't.
that.
I met him, and I've liked so much of his movies. And his son is a fucking piece of shit monster. And John Landis killed kids.
They're both terrible people.
It's a real disappointment.
But he's made good movies, but he's made really bad movies
That's
too.
True. He did.
We saw Animal House not that long ago. That's aged like fucking milk.
I hated
that sucked
movie,
ass.
Yeah. Landis did say one of the funniest things I've ever heard. He said to me that when he was making Thriller, Michael Jackson came to him with some strange, very basic anatomical questions about sexual reproduction.
What?
Michael Jackson was like asking John Landis how babies are made, and John Landis was like, "What?"
I'm sorry. It's so funny because Michael Jackson in Thriller era was like a sexual icon, right? And he's got like
not according to him.
I get. Well, that's the thing. Like from the music video, he's like this cool guy. He's on a date with the girl, and you would think like he's got it all. I mean, anyone who knows anything about Michael Jackson, I guess you know that he didn't. But it's kind of funny that he during that shoot, that's what.
Why would he ask John
what was
Landis?
going on?
And I was like,
why would he ask? I guess is the more important question.
I said, why did he ask you? And John Landis said, I used to tickle him.
What?
Which is weird anyway, but extra weird as an answer to that question.
Used to tickle.
Some weird things were going on during Thriller.
He asked me some very basic anatomical questions.
I feel like any story that has Michael Jackson in it gets a little weird anyway.
Well, my favorite weird story, Emmanuel Lewis, when I had him on the show, used to be good friends with Michael Jackson, and him and Brooke Shields would hang out with Michael Jackson. And he told me that Michael Jackson would call Manny, and ask if he could come over their house and do chores. And he would like wash their dishes, do their laundry, like mow the lawn. I guess to just like do something normal, because he like wasn't allowed to do that stuff.
That's so weird.
Right? It's bizarre.
It's kind of sad though.
Yeah. Michael Jackson wants to come do our dishes.
Oh.
He's got some basic questions about dishes. Okay, where are we? Thursday? Do we do both of you do your choices?
No, Phelan hasn't.
Okay. Oh yeah, you did Diagnosis Murder.
Yeah, we were talking about
Diagnosis Old Man. Right, you went first,
Yes,
and then okay. Yeah, we did Thursday though.
Okay. Friday, final night of the week. Allison.
All right, I have 4 different things going on. It's a busy night. So 8 to 8:30, Two of a Kind. Olsen twins, I was the target demographic. I watched a lot of their stuff. I can't say I watched a shit ton of Two of a Kind, but I did watch it, and that's what I would have been watching back in the day. 8:30 to 9, Candid Camera. Because Candid Camera was never good, but I have nostalgia for it because that was what was on a lot of the time when I went to my grandparents' house. They just loved Candid Camera, and there was not a lot else going on, so that's what I would see at my grandparents' house.
This is the reboot with Alan Funt Jr.
Oh, see, I don't know if I saw... maybe I saw some of the reboot, but I would have watched it. And the 9 to 9:30 is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's a classic episode. It's the one where she's addicted to pancakes. It's become a meme now. That's what I'd be watching. One of my memories of watching Sabrina back in the day when it was on was we were either at a friend's house or a relative's house. It was somewhere when we were traveling, and they had a portable television it was like black and white. And I remember watching an episode of Sabrina in black and white on a portable television.
And it probably still worked. The show. Yep.
It still worked. I didn't need to know what color it was.
Do you know the Charmed connection with Sabrina? Aside from witches?
I'm not sure, no.
Friend of the show, Nell Scovell, who created Sabrina the Teenage Witch, also was head writer on 2 seasons of Charmed.
Oh, what seasons, though?
She was on the last Shannon Doherty season and the first Rose McGowan season.
Okay, so she was in the transition period before shit really hit the fan.
Yeah. Got out of there.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Well, good.
Have you ever heard about the Alan Funt's dirty Candid Camera period?
What?
Yes. After the original Candid Camera in the 50s and 60s, Alan Funt made a series of movies, like full nudie movies, called the first one's called What Do You Say to a Naked Lady? And it was just shot on film, basically Candid Camera jokes, but it would always be like a naked lady is the joke. And he put out like 3 of them.
That sucks.
So weird. Like, what a weirdo.
That sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah. Like, what do you think the person's going to react? Like, this isn't funny?
I feel like there are several options that are not good at all.
Yeah.
Not good reactions.
No. It's never going to be funny. Never. Yeah.
Oh, I did have one more choice after Sabrina, 9:30 to 11, Homeward Bound.
Oh, that's too sad for me.
It's too sad, no, but it had a happy ending.
Yeah.
Every time they play that music and they think Shadow's dead, and then like and he comes running, and you're like, oh, Shadow! And tears. Oh, he lived. When they think that he's dead, he's in the mud, and then when the cat goes over the waterfall, and you're like, ah! But they made it. And it's a happy ending. We had that on tape. I watched it so much. I love Homeward Bound.
Than the original one.
Oh, these original ones suck. They're so mean to the animals.
My Babe Pig in the City, when Fleelig, the little dog in the wheelchair, gets hit by the car, and they just show his little wheel stop spinning.
Oh no!
And then they show him in heaven, and he can walk, and he's chasing butterflies. But then he comes back to life. But I literally saw it in the theater. I was the only one in the theater. I think I was like 20 years old, and I was crying my eyes out.
I don't remember this part of it. It's been a long time since I've seen Babe Pig in the City.
That whole movie's about how the world doesn't care about you.
It was Pig in the City, or is the first one?
Pig in the City.
Sorry,
the first one's okay.
Pig in the City. Oh no, I don't remember.
Pig in the
I don't know
City's
if I ever saw
brutal.
Pig in the City.
Brutal.
I saw the first one on TV a lot. I don't know. I remember the ads for the Babe 2 looking like it sucked.
Oh, it's so good. There are poodles that are prostitutes. Mickey Rooney's in it as a terrifying evil clown. Stephen Wright plays a monkey.
Oh my God, this sounds
It's amazing. It's George Miller, and it's like a Mad Max movie.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I was being unfair to Babe Pig in the City.
Awesome.
I need to check it out.
It's literally the whole point of the movie, and I'm not even editorializing, is the world doesn't care about you. You don't matter. Like, you're not special. The world is going to just kill you, so just deal with it.
Amazing.
It's very good. Okay. And then, Phelan, what are you doing?
Friday I had Star Trek TOS. I liked their description. It was like, Kirk encounters witchcraft in a castle.
Oh, isn't that Cat's
that was
Paw?
the Cat's Paw?
Yeah, so it's a
okay.
Halloween-ish episode, so that works. Sabrina, also. New Red Green, and Stargate SG-1.
Is that your first Canadian content of the week?
I think so.
I've never seen that show a whole episode. I always remember on PBS here it would come on after Red Dwarf. Or it's either on after or I'd catch the last couple minutes of it. And I would just be like, what the fuck is this? What is this? Because it's like Canadian Hicks, right? Isn't that kind of the...
Yeah, kind of like he's got all these silly solutions for handyman problems.
Okay.
A lot of the time is duct tape.
So it's like a parody This Old House kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah, you'd have that. They'd like have a section usually where he invented something ridiculous, would usually blow up in his face.
Oh, so it's like Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Someone went, you know what we don't.
With less Tim
Yeah,
Allen.
let's get rid of Tim Allen and the family.
Home Improvement, but good.
Home Improved.
Very special Home Improvement before the Diet Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey hour.
Where he's suckling
I don't want
puppies.
to die.
Oh man, yeah, that's a good night. Those are good choices. It's also the repeat of the Phil Hartman tribute news radio episode. Speaking of crying, Jesus Christ, that episode. The movie Monster in the Closet is on, which is a pretty fun, weird movie from 1987. Which is very strange that that's on TV at all. I'm very weirded out by that. But a damn fine week. Once again, you guys picked a great week. I appreciate the Halloween content, as always. I do apologize that this scan did have the crossword already done, in case you guys were looking to do that. The person already did it.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed. Simpsons was never on during the hours, the primetime hours. I know you can go outside of it.
6 or
but
7.
yeah, they aired a little bit earlier. But if that, like Treehouse of Horror especially, I'd be all over that.
So,
yeah.
And I think this was the last Treehouse of Horror that actually aired before Halloween.
They kept going into November.
Yeah.
Now they're doing the Thanksgiving ones.
Yeah. But
very weird.
Fair enough. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a good Halloween. I will put links to all the channels and everything, the Halloween playlist, all that stuff for the listeners. And I'm so happy that you guys took the time to come back on the show and to come on the show for the first time.
Well, thanks for having us. It was a blast.
There you go. Allison, Phelan, super fun. Do yourself a favor, go through all their content. You will have a wonderful time doing so. Hope you had a good Halloween. Hope you had a good Halloween whenever you're listening to this. We're in the home stretch of 2024. Let's hope 2025 is better. But it's Halloween time, so let's not think about that now. Let's not think about actual horrific things. Let's just think about fun, horrific things. I'll be here next week, so I hope you will too, for a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor.
Television.